for the organization's finances to get back on track, a number of initiatives that were begun in September will need to play out over the next 4 or 5 years. So it makes us think of what Paul wrote to the Corinthian congregation in his second letter on the subject of donations in chapter 8 and verse 11. So now also complete what you started to do, so that your readiness to act may be completed according to the means you have available. So we thank you, brothers, for jumping right on the direction that was provided and getting things set in motion, but all of us need to think about this as a more long-term set of adjustments and initiatives. There needs to be an ongoing flow of information between the branches and headquarters to see how Jehovah blesses these various initiatives and how all of them work together, since there's really a number of moving pieces. Where are we right now, you may be wondering? Well, it's probably too soon to tell too much yet, but we can update you on what we've seen thus far. Many branches have begun to adjust their staffing levels. Some have postponed certain purchases. And, of course, all of the construction projects that were put on hold or canceled have been wound down or in the process of being wound down very quickly. We've received the reports from September, and donations seem to have returned to their normal levels in the previous year. As the governing body recently announced to Bethel families, in the months of July and August, there was an increase of donations in response to the May broadcast of around $30 million. That's showing real appreciation and support on the part of our brothers worldwide, and they're to be commended for that. However, until the general donation picture changes substantially, the organization will need to hold to the course set by the governing body with respects to spending, not only this year, but in the coming years as well. The real estate sales around the world have been accelerated to the extent possible. We have close to 3,000 properties scattered around the globe that need to be sold, many of them smaller properties of limited value, but in total, there represents a substantial amount of future income from the sale of those properties. That's especially true with the remaining properties here in Brooklyn. The governing body having set a firm date where all of the activities will be transferred from the city into one of the 3 upstate facilities, has allowed us to accelerate the marketing plan for our properties here. In fact, just yesterday, the first of those properties, 85 J Street, was put on the market, and over the next few days, additional properties will start being marketed as well. So we expect that these sales will contribute to helping us to transition from our current position to the revised operating budget that the governing body is working towards. We appreciate that you brothers have taken a look at your potential sale purchases of equipment and vehicles and have canceled some of those and postponed others. In our total picture, that doesn't represent too big of an impact, but it certainly moves us in the right direction, and we appreciate that. Brother Moritz explained that in September, the governing body set up a $25 million contingency for new spending for new initiatives for the 2016 service year. We've pretty much spent that already, as we've trying to catch up with budget items and information flows that still need to be tightened up. So for the rest of this year, unless